Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who was the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening. Gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, be looking out for a live later on this evening. We're going to talk about Black Panther 2 and some of the other events that are going on right now. But I want to talk about this situation with Kyrie Irving apologizing. Like I've told you guys before, this has just been a last call. Okay? That's all that it was. Okay? You guys got your opportunity to get your last exposure here to this truth. But it wasn't just, hey, here's a link, check it out, and then that's it. These are the times where you need to study to show thyself approved. Kyrie is not going to break it all down for you. You get, you get class 101. And that should lead you to starting to really delve into this information if you're called. And that's, as you can see, that's what it seems exactly like what just happened right now. People are talking about Kyrie, oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's not going to say this, he's not going to say that. He's not going to apologize. I was like, when we're going to look at a couple things right now. But when you made that covenant with the other nations, you don't have the opportunity to just walk away. As you can see, time after time after time, they've made our people they might say a little something, but then they fall right back in line. But we're at a different time right now. We are at the time of the bones coming back together. The valley of the dry bones have come back together. They're coming back together through the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is using people who've made covenants with the other nations, as well as our own people who are, been called out by the Most High to get his point across. I said, there's a lot of information that you can get from the Hebrews to Negro series and things like that, and then like I always just stressed, hey, if you're called to get into this and you get into that part, that's beautiful, that's great. Keep going, keep studying. There's a whole lot more to this than what meets the eye. You got the physical aspects of what's going on, but you also got the spiritual aspect. Something that the Most High has been showing me the last couple of days, like I said, is that this is like the upside down world. It's the upside down world right now. So you're not show those kids love to watch all the time about the upside down world. This world looks, it looks appetizing, it looks nice and whatever else, but it is spiritually dead. Just like in Stranger Things, they have their regular world that looks great. They go to the upside down world and it looks all horrible. It's like the same kind of a place, but it looks all horrible. This is the opposite. This place to our carnal eyes looks okay, but it is spiritually dead. It is spiritually dead. We've been, dead for the 3.5 days while everybody else has been partying. Now that the Most High has awakened us here at the end, the other nations know that they have stolen. They have stolen goods, stolen our information, stolen our heritage, stolen our traditions, and they're going out of their way to make it seem as if, us trying to reclaim our heritage is a problem. Are you guys, are you other nations, are you prepared to apologize for stealing someone else's legacy. Just like you put Kyrie through the ringer, you made him apologize multiple times, which is funny because he just shared a link, but he has to go through all these, hoops. Are you going to be willing to do those same things for the Most High? When he exposes the fact that you're the ones who've actually stolen other traditions, other people's heritage. You've stolen the heritage of the Hebrew Israelites. Are you going to be willing to apologize? Are you going to be willing to make amends? Are you going to be willing to do the things that the Most High tells you you're going to have to do to make things right? See, the Most High is also testing you Gentiles. He's also going to be exposing you heathens. You see what I'm saying? Because the whole world is complicit and the whole world is guilty of stealing others' heritages, namely the Israelites' heritage. So, I saw this yesterday evening or last night. The video's been all over the place showing Kyrie apologizing. He's still talking about, so he's still on his journey. He's still trying to figure out which tribe he's from. He was still putting subtle digs in there about who we are, as a people, and how he's going to continue to search and things like that. But that's the main thing. All of us have a responsibility to chase after the Father. All of us have a responsibility to chase after our heritage. And that's what this world has been so focused with, keeping us away from chasing after our heritage. It's not just as easy as going and pressing play on a video and you got all the information right there. That's not how this works. Okay? Now, are the other nations, like I said, you guys just think now, because everyone's gonna be like, oh, he said I'm sorry, so now everything's good. I said, Most High is also, now he's testing you. Are you going to be willing to do the same thing when people bring it to your face that your heritage is not your own? So no one's talking about, it's not just one small group of people that have stolen the heritage of our people. It's the entire world that is guilty of stealing our heritage. Every group that sits there and calls themselves, Native Americans, Greeks, British, Irish, right? Indian or East Indians, Australians, is that really your heritage? Or is that a new label that was just put on you in the last couple hundred years? What were you before that? Where did you get your scientific prowess? Where did you make your scientific and mathematical gains? Where did you get that information from? If you didn't originate with you, where did you get it from? When you talk about Pliny, and you're always referring back to him, where did he get his information from? When you talk about the Greeks and how they got all this information, where did they get that information from? When you try to say that you were the Druids and you were the British, where did they get their information from? You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole lot of things you're going to have to answer for. So, like I said, the same amount of effort that you put into others having to apologize and make amends for, doing one thing, what's going to happen to the millions of things you've done to hide the fact that you've stolen everything? What do you think the Most High is going to make you do to atone for that? So a lot of the people who are being quiet and being silent and just watching this play out, this is the Most High exposing your heart as well. When you see all these other nations who know the truth, but aren't coming out to admit the truth about who we are, how we are the Israelites of the Bible, how we are the people of the book, the Most High is also he's not letting you sit by idly either. Because now when you have to stand in front of the Most High, and you're all going to have to stand in front of him, he's going to say, why didn't you stand up for my people? Remember, how you treat the least of us, his people, that's going to be measured on you. So if you knew the truth, if you went and you got this video and you started to look at it and you start to realize, hold on, these people really fit a lot of these curses. They fit a lot of this information. They fit a lot of this. Now, if you just got that information, you got exposed to that, and then you just walked away from it and ignored it, now the Most High, just exposed you to this information also. So he's exposing some of them. So he's exposing information to some of you to get it, to turn to the Most High, to follow the Most High. He's showing it to some of you to damn you, because you saw the truth and you ignored the truth. So the Most High is doing these things on so many different levels. Okay? Now, check this out. Brought this book out before, but we're going to bring it out again. Stolen Legacy. This book proves that the Greeks, I said, you guys stole the heritage of the Egyptians. The Egyptians got a lot of that from our people, but ultimately the Greeks did not come up with this information on their own. They stole the heritage and the traditions of the Egyptians and claimed it for themselves. If this is not identity theft on steroids, I don't know what is. Are you going to apologize for this? Are you guys going to come out and make a public apology for stealing all the information that you have from the Egyptians? You've also stole it, Pythagoras and all these other guys stole it from the Druids. And we know from Acts 29 that the Druids were the Hebrews. Are you guys going to come out and apologize for that? You see what I'm saying? Like when the Most High has given us this knowledge and understanding, whatever you're doing, the Most High is going to take it tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold. You're going to complain about one thing that Kyrie talked about when you've done way worse. You're going to talk about him, hurting your feelings or whatever else. I said, but what about what you've done to our people? You've destroyed us for a lack of knowledge. You took our knowledge away from us and destroyed us as a people. You took our knowledge from us and attributed it to yourselves, which destroyed us as a people. You've destroyed the Most High's chosen people by hiding knowledge and understanding from them, hiding where this knowledge and understanding originated from, hiding the people that the Most High chose to give it to originally. All of that's going to come with a cost. So are you, as the rest of the world, are you going to admit the fact that the Greeks, who you hold up in such high esteem, stole all of their information, all of their scientific information? You're gonna admit that you stole all that from the Greeks? From the Egyptians? And if you have done that, how are you going to atone? Are you going to have to go and meet with the leaders? Are you going to have to go and meet with these people and those people? Are you going to have to give away money? Are you going to have to do all these different things? On what level would you have to, or the things you would have to do to atone for these kinds of things? Because it wasn't just like it was a one act. It's been these acts have been going on for, thousands of years. Let's just read a little bit. This is on page 78 of this book right here. Because what happens is that there's all these different subjects attributed to one person. Like he was this one person here was able to write like over books on 60 subjects, and he was like 60 different subjects were attributed to this one person. Which if you go and get your master's or PhD, you have to like pretty much concentrate on one thing. Okay, this book is it's so preposterous. It says Like this dude was able to concentrate on 60 different subjects, which is physically impossible. But because they were in such a hurry to transfer that knowledge from the Egyptians to the Greeks, that they just did crazy stuff that most people would not even figure out. Like that's just physically impossible for one person to get that kind of knowledge in one lifetime and be able to write all these books. So like I said, this is a stolen legacy. This is how they steal, information and steal identities. It says, apart from what was written on the atom, the name of Democritus, okay, spelled Democritus, is associated with a large list of books dealing with over 60 different subjects and covering all the branches of science known to the ancient world. Yeah, this dude just knew it all, right? He did all of them, right? Covering all the branches of science known to the ancient world. In addition to this vast field of knowledge, the list also contains books on military science, law, and magic. Clearly, the accumulation of such a vast range of knowledge by a single individual, written in a single lifetime, is impossible, both physically and mentally. So just to even do this and say that this is true is just physically and mentally impossible. Okay? The method among the ancients of imparting knowledge was by gradual stages, followed by evidence of proficiency, which in turn was also followed by initiations, which marked every step in the progress of the neophyte. The progress of training was slow, and no neophyte could accomplish such knowledge in his lifetime, as took the Egyptians over 5,000 years to accumulate. These human limitations are as true today as they were among the ancients. For our great scientists of the modern world are specialists only in single subjects. So, this just proves that you have actually been the ones who have the stolen legacy. And now at the end, the Most High is awakening us. We're trying to find our legacy, our traditions, our heritage, and we're being attacked for doing so, even though they can't even prove that this information was theirs originally. And then they killed this brother who actually wrote this book shortly after he wrote it. Seems to be a pattern, They get out information and then they end up dying, Like Admiral Byrd, who actually went into the Hollow Earth, and within like the next year or so, he was dead in order to hide information. It's really been like, that's what they've hidden information in order to keep the lie alive, in order to keep this upside down world alive. Like I said, real quick, we're just gonna look at lost scriptures because, like I said, as you can see, these lost scriptures and these things that are written are just popping up every single day. Again, this is Shepherd of Hermas, chapter 50. He said to me, "You know that you slaves of God are living in a foreign land, for your own city is a long way from this one. If then," he said, "you know your own city, where you are about to live, why are you preparing fields, expensive furnishings, buildings, and pointless rooms for yourselves here? Anyone who prepares these things in this city, therefore cannot return to his own city. You foolish, double-minded, and miserable person, do you not understand that all these things belong to another and are under someone else's control?" Okay? All this stuff that we see here belongs to the ones who, as you can easily see, are in control. The ones that, demand certain things and demand people do certain things, and they all just fall in line and do it. That just shows you whoever's able to do that, that's who this world belongs to. Okay? It says, do you not understand that all these things belong to another and are under someone else's control? For the ruler of this city will say, I do not want you living in my city. Leave it, because you are not living by my laws. See, they established the laws here on this planet. in this upside down plane. Okay? And if you don't want to follow them, then they just cancel you. They take away everything because it's in their power to do so. That's why it's a waste of time trying to make things fair and equal and fair and balanced. I mean, all that, that's it, because that's not what this society and this plane that we're of existence is about. Okay? So again, I do not want you living in my city. I do not want you living in my city. Leave it, because you are not living by my laws. And so you who have fields and houses and many other possessions, when he casts you out, what will you do with your field and house and whatever else you have prepared for yourself? For the ruler of this country rightly says to you, either live by my laws or leave my country. So either live by my laws or you're going to lose everything. And that's exactly, what's been going on. And he has the right to do so because this is his blessing. When he talks about that in actually the apocalypse of Abraham, like Azazel gave up his station and his place in heaven in order to come down to the earth and become like the ruler here. When he did that, Abraham got a chance to ascend to his place in heaven. So Abraham and his posterity, have their places in heaven. Azazel and his posterity have their place down here. And that's talked about in the apocalypse of Abraham. Okay? Now, and that's kind of what you see going on right here. Either live by my laws or leave my country. And so what will you do? Okay, you who have a law from your own city. Will you completely renounce your own law, for the sake of your fields and whatever else you own, and follow the law of the city? And that's the thing. You make covenants, and that's where you're stuck. All right. So like I said, people are like, oh, Kyrie and this and I was like, he's controlled also. It's beautiful. He's searching and everything else like that. But ultimately, hey, if the Most High is calling him to get into this truth, beautiful. If the Most High is using him to get a lot of people exposed to information, beautiful. But ultimately, it's up to every single individual to chase after the Most High and chase after this information here at the end. Okay? Do not put this on someone else to do the work for you, because it's not their responsibility, it is yours. Study to show thyself approved. We have a whole lot of traditions that were taken away, a whole lot of heritage that was taken away, that now the Most High has given us opportunity to get back. Okay? And he's exposing the fact that these other nations have stolen, our traditions, have stolen our heritage, and he's working to give it back. And as as our people are working to get back, and they try to make an example out of like someone like Kyrie, it's like, okay, well, hey, if you're going to do this to, us for looking for our information, what's going to happen to you? If you're going to kind of imply that we are, culture vultures and that we're stealing someone else's identity and someone else's heritage, what does that say about you? If we have to if he has to jump through all these hoops in order to get reinstated, in order for him to go back to work or whatever else, what's the Most High going to do to you? You should always be thinking of, like, if I'm gonna, how I'm treating someone else is how it's gonna be, it's gonna be put on me. So if all these people are sitting here watching all these things happening and no one's saying anything, you're complicit. Those are the laws. Those are the laws that this society has set up. We have those laws. Like if someone is in a car, one person commits a crime, one person tries to shoot someone else in another car, everyone in that car is complicit, even though only one person pulled the trigger. Now you're watching how the Hebrews are being done wrong. You're watching how the Hebrews are trying to awaken, and you're seeing how, the other nations are trying their best to keep that from happening, and you're saying nothing. You're complicit. Now you're going to have to answer for that. Your whole, chance, or your whole, plan of like, oh, I'm just not going to say anything, then I can't be held accountable. That's all going to be gone out the window. When you read Jeremiah 17:4, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. The Most High gave us a heritage. And now we're chasing after that right now. And now you're saying people standing in the way of that. You're standing in the way of prophecy. You're standing in the way of the Most High calling his children back. Is that a place you really want to be standing? Do you really want to be standing in the way of the Most High calling his children back? Is that what you want to do? That's your choice. But just know that there's going to be consequences for that. You're going to just stand by idly by and watch as the Most High's children, are now being awakened, and the vast majority of the world is being totally quiet because they don't want to rock the boat. So there's definitely going to be a recompense for all this. I'm looking for something really fast here, family. Hold on. You just take a look at who's been stealing whose heritage. The dwarf at Uxmal. Whose heritage has been stolen? Murals and mysteries right here of the Maya. That's what the original Mayans look like. Who's still in history now? The Black Celts, an ancient African civilization in Ireland and Britain. Before the so-called white man showed up in Ireland and Britain, there were black people there. Been written out of history. Been hidden. Who's going to pay for this? Who's going to say, I'm sorry for stealing your tradition? I'm sorry for stealing your heritage? Who's going to do that? What you make other people do, you're going to have to pay for. You get to the Americas, and you got, Negroes here already, and you just erase all that history. Who's going to say, I'm sorry for that? How are you going to atone for that? You're sitting there trying to act as if these were the Olmecs, when you know that they had braids in the back of their heads on these on these heads. Come on now. You know who the original people were that were here. The old Meccas, the rubber people. You changed the names, and that this was India Superior over here. That's why you call the people here Indians, because India was much bigger than what you see today. And they were not the same people that you see there right now. Who's going to say they're sorry for all this? How are you going to atone for all this? So they said you broke him down, you made him apologize, but trust me, There's more of this coming now for you. You got to make an example of him. Now the Most High is about to make an example of you. Let's read a little bit of Isaiah 51, starting at 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of fury. Okay? They're full of the fury of the Most High, the rebuke of thy God. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over. Just like you did right here with Kyrie, you told him to bow down. Bow down and do what we tell you to do. Bow down and go above and beyond what it is that we tell you to do. Bow down to us. Okay? You're superiors. Now the Most High is taking like those that dregs out of our hands and it's going to be put into you. Now all the things that you've done to hide, your traditions, I said now is going to come on you. All the heritage that you've stolen, all the traditions that you've stolen, all the books that you've hidden, all the information that you've hidden from us. We've been drunk with wine because it's not with wine. We're drunk from no knowledge, no understanding. Now the Holy Spirit's giving it back to us, and you're fighting tooth and nail to keep us away from it. But that's okay. Like I said, now the Most High, he's letting everyone see it. Either you're going to stand up with the Israelites, or you're going to stay quiet, or you're going to stand up against the Israelites. No, there is no neutral position. You will have to decide. No neutral positions. You're going to have to decide who your allegiance is with. All praise is the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.